back to another episode of Facts and Stats. This is a part two. We're dropping 2 episodes today. We have one episode dropping with strictly football talks, covering last weekend's games, and then this episode is going to be all about NBA, off-season trades that potentially going to happen, and trades that we may want to see happen. So as of last night, we seen the Bucks add two key pieces, but sent out some key pieces and assets to land Jrue Holiday and Bogdanovich. I don't want to say his name wrong. But the Bucks traded out Eric Bledsoe, George Hill, Dante, 3 first-round picks, and then it's gonna be 2 pick swaps. I'll start with you, Q. So now, do you think that's enough to keep Giannis in Milwaukee? And how do you look at Milwaukee now, with adding Jrue and Bogdanovich, to that team now in the Eastern Conference?
I think it's enough. Well, I'm not gonna say it's enough because, of course, they want to try and get to as good as they can.
Right.
So if they have moves they can make, they should keep making those moves. But the fact that they actually making moves and putting in effort to get Giannis some help, some good help, that's great. And Jrue Holiday is a player that a lot of teams were interested in. So the fact that they was able to get that trade done and get it done so quick, hats off to that front office, because we see oftentimes star players, they be in small markets and their front office is incompetent and don't make moves. Exactly. So I like that. It definitely makes them a lot better. They get a lot better defensively because they still have Giannis who won the Defensive Player of the Year, and they have Brook Lopez who made an all defensive team, and now they're adding another elite perimeter defender that is very well respected around the league as an elite defender. But they still got it still depends on how good Jrue Holiday can run the point, like be the main point guard, because we've seen him play shooting guard in New Orleans too.
Okay. I'm true. But he was the point guard at first though. He always was a point guard.
Yeah, he was. And the last time he was an all-star, he was a point guard.
Right.
So I'm sure he'll fit.
My only thing, I'm not even gonna get to me. King, what's your thoughts on that trade that happened last night? Jrue Holiday and Bogdan to the Bucks.
They give up one thing. They give up their whole damn life with Jrue Holiday, and it was another player, right? I can't think.
Bogan.
Bogan, and everything. 3 first-round picks. That's gonna hurt them losing that, because I could be in a win-now situation, which it may give them a slight edge. All depends on what they can, if that's the only move they're gonna make this, off season. Whatever they're gonna do in draft, because they gave away their first-round pick, so they got to bank on the second or third if they have that. And like I said, he's definitely an upgrade from George Hill. I know that for a fact. Somebody that can legit,
and Eric Bledsoe.
Yeah, that legit can score and then play, good defense as well, and be that real good floor general that Giannis ain't gotta be able to do 1 through 4. He can just play his position and dominate.
Right.
And still having Chris Middleton at the small forward spot. If you're gonna rotate shooting guard, whatever you want to do, cool. And then I still think they still need a dominant center. Even though they got Brook Lopez, of course getting there up there in age, so you need somebody to be younger. That's with Giannis that can take some of the heat off him down the post or whatever. Even though Giannis still gonna do his thing without regardless, but it's still great to have someone to take a little pressure off him when it comes playoff time. And but other than that, it's a win. It's a win for the Pelicans. Definitely a win for the Pelicans.
Big win for the Pelicans.
Definitely, because now they can use all that and build around Zion, because we all know that's gonna be the franchise player. Where they're banking on him being a franchise player. And I wouldn't say it's a loss on the Bucks, but I don't know with the Bucks, but I know it's a win for the Pelicans.
You know what will make it a loss is if Giannis leaves.
Right. Yeah, that'd make it a loss. That'd have been that whole trade would have been pointless as hell.
And you know how bad it would be, because New Orleans gonna get all their picks. 3 first-round picks and 2 pick swaps. So that's really your next 5 best picks.
Yeah, but honestly, what I did notice in the trade though, I was thinking just like how y'all was thinking, but then I looked at the details a little bit more. Two of the first round picks, one is in 2025 and one is in 2027. So
Mm-hmm.
we're only in 2020. They don't give a damn about those picks that's 5 and 7 years from now. So
Oh
when I
yeah,
look at it,
but what you got to understand, one thing you got to understand, we seen teams do that before, not care about their future, and got themselves in a bad situation like Brooklyn when they made that trade and sent all them picks. They probably was thinking the same thing, like we should be good by then. I ain't worried about
true,
that,
true,
but
true.
Mm.
That's true.
but
But you got to think about it. You got a young star like Giannis. He literally just came out the other day and said like, "Yeah, I would like to be here, but if my ownership is not showing me that they want to make the moves to keep me around, then I'll have to look at other options." Basically, is what he said.
yeah,
Right.
And in the next day or two, they land Drew Holiday and I don't want to say I'm gonna just say Bogue. They land Drew Holiday and Bogue, and then I think that's enough to keep him around a little bit because
yeah,
Yeah.
most
Yeah, it
definitely.
should be. Yeah.
for another
Because I'm pretty sure if they just got to worry about the East. They just gotta if they could at least get to a championship, they could lock Giannis down.
facts. So Mark, talk to me. What you think about that trade last night? How do you think the Bucks can be going forward? Like any final possibility, ring possibilities, anything?
To me, I think the Bucks who won this trade
Thank you.
for certain reasons.
Thank you.
Why? I think Drew Holiday helps him defensive wise, offensive wise, and you still got firepower with Chris Middleton. Still got Giannis who gonna drive, do him in the paint, and then you have more shooters around the perimeter. You still got, like I said, you got Drew, and now you got what's his name, Bojanovic, whatever his name is, and I think he has. He shows people way more than people think that he got. He got more game than people think that he got.
Exactly. And I was hoping I get to touch on it a little bit too. My favorite
Yeah,
thing about the trade is literally people know maybe because where he was, but he was better. He was better than Buddy Hield, and
exactly.
he's to me it may sound crazy, but he's as good as Chris Middleton. Like
Oh
he's
no no no
he
no, that's not crazy at
yeah
all.
he's really he's but Chris Middleton's an all star, so
Right, right.
Yeah, I ain't look. Drew
Yeah.
Holiday. Drew
I
Holiday
see
can
what you
make an
did with
all
the
no
Kings.
no
star
I'm not
now.
talking about Drew. I'm not talking about Drew. I'm talking about
Yeah, we talking
I'm
about
talking about
talking
I'm
about
talking about Bo.
Bogdanovich.
Yeah, I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about.
You
He
talking about
just
who? Oh, you talking about Bogey?
he's as
Yeah,
good as
Oh, okay.
Chris Middleton.
I
See,
thought you was talking
yeah,
about Drew. I was
not
like, that
Drew.
sounds
No,
crazy to
no,
you.
not Drew. Not Drew.
no,
Drew was
no,
better than
no.
Chris Middleton, but
But
Yeah,
I seen what bro did with the
yeah,
Kings, and he was
he's
nice.
really good. He's
yeah.
like trust
Bogey
me,
Bogey
Yeah,
is solid.
he's really good. So I think Giannis is gonna love that ad because he can literally play make,
exactly,
he can shoot, and he can go get it on his own. It's
exactly.
nothing that he can't do.
Yeah, because
So
I think that was like a key piece they was missing. It really was the point guard, shooting guard position for
Exactly.
real.
exactly.
You would take the ball out of Giannis' hands way more. You would.
Exactly.
Right. It takes some heat off him because when it comes to playoff times, they're gonna keep all in on Giannis, and then that's gonna dissemble the whole team for real.
So, what do y'all think New Orleans is gonna do with Eric Bledsoe and George Hill? Because now they got
Not
a
a
log
not
jam
a
at point
damn
guard.
not a
Right.
damn thing.
I think right. That's what I think they're gonna do. I think they're gonna look out for the veterans. I think they're gonna
Right.
cut them. Buy them out, whatever the case may be. Especially
Yeah.
George Hill, they're gonna let George go do his own
Hey,
thing.
they're gonna
Yeah, they're gonna
Right.
let him do his own thing.
But see, Eric Bledsoe got himself a contract on him.
Right,
So
right.
I don't know if they can buy that one out.
would you have Bledsoe starting over Ball?
I think
Hell
they'll
no.
plug in Blade at the two
Yeah, at the
because
two.
he played two in college. He played in the league a little bit. He played point guard in the league too. He can play both. He's like a combo guard.
Okay, and just get JJ Redick off the bench.
Yeah, like they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how they had it. I think that's what's
Yeah.
gonna happen with them.
And,
Um,
and who says the Pelicans gonna do good with them trade picks? Who says they're gonna draft a good player? Who
True,
says
true.
so?
I mean, they could use those picks for.
Yeah, but you never know who they might draft. It might be a bust. So
Yeah, but then they could draft somebody and be a star. Or I like one thing I like when teams like now a lot of more teams are starting to find value in these picks because we really seen it with Sam Presti and how he was getting all those picks. I think he got something crazy like over 10 picks that he acquired just from the trades he did, all the trades. Because those picks are valuable because anytime a superstar or somebody, if they say they want out, you can make a deal because you got all them picks.
Right.
You could just stack them on top of what you got. So I think it's good to have some picks for the future because you just never know.
That's a fact.
best GM in the league, Sam Preston.
Before we
I've
get
been
to the
telling you.
main before we get to the
I
main
wouldn't
two
say all
potential
that.
players that I think is going to get traded, we're going to talk about another little, I would say, sneaky move that happened last night. Robert Covington got traded to the Portland Trailblazers. Mark, talk to me. Covington began passed around a little bit. He went from Philly to Minnesota to Houston, and now
Yeah.
he's in Portland. How do you feel like that move? What that move is going to do for the Portland Trailblazers, and would that boost them in the West a little bit, or what?
Um, to a certain extent, I mean, he can do a little bit. He can shoot. You know what I'm saying? He might play a little bit of good defense, but other than that, I don't think he's gonna boost them to where they're gonna be championship contenders or nothing like that. I don't see him really giving them that edge or
Okay.
giving them over the hump. Really, I just see him as another shooter. You know what I'm saying? That can help them out. But other than that, no, I think they just need to break that team up. I think Dame need to step somewhere else. Yeah, but I know he want to be big dog, and hey, that ain't working for you, brother. It's
um,
all good.
before I get to Keem and Q, also they traded Trevor Ariza and this year's 16th pick in the draft to get Robert. So with that information that you know now, Keem, if you didn't know, what's your thoughts on that trade and how do you think that's going to shape the Blazers out?
And like Mark said, it probably ain't gonna do too much really. He is a good defensive player. That's what they really need, because they're weak at defense, playing defense in that conference, and it's a good start for him and all that. And like I said, like Mark said, he can shoot, well. He puts points on the board, definitely get rebounds. Really, probably he's probably there for just to be that muscle for real.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Size.
yeah, it's just 6'7". They can put him at the power forward, or they can rotate him or Carmelo, however they want to do it. Um, But as far as like a big plus, like so as far as like playoffs in the West, I don't really see nothing. I
Okay.
think it's still the same. Honestly, it's not really an upgrade. Honestly,
Okay. Q, talk to me. What's your thoughts on that trade?
Um, of course, like Keem and Mark touched on it, the ceiling of Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, we know what that ceiling is. And we know with the West getting stronger, we know this trade doesn't make us look at them as a title contender. But what I will say, the trade does make them a better team and it fills some of the holes that they had. Robert Covington, he's a guy. He's great 3-and-D guy. He's
Mm-hmm.
like one of the best options for 3-and-D role players
In the league.
that you can
Yeah.
go with. This past playoff series, he shot like 50% from the three, and with like and attempted like 60. So pretty good sample size to know that he's a pretty good shooter. Um, he's a good defender, and that's something that they need. They need a wing defense
Mm-hmm.
and just a better wing. When you look back at the last time at their last playoff run before this one when they made it to the conference finals, um, that's when they had those type of pieces like a what's the boy name, Rodney
Rodney
Hood,
Hood. Yeah.
those type of wings that step up. So I think it makes them better, but it doesn't raise their ceiling.
right.
Okay. My only thoughts on that, I love the trade because like, y'all all touched on it. 3-and-D, King rebounding. But he's very similar to Trevor Ariza to me. But he's definitely better than Trevor Ariza. Younger than Trevor Ariza. And he averaged 8 boards last year, which Trevor Ariza wouldn't do for you anyway. Um,
Hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing Mark on the breakup, but I wouldn't do it just yet. I think this is the final year because the past two playoff runs, I mean, well, the year before last, they didn't have Nurkic, when they lost. Nurkic is a very key piece to me, He's back healthy now. I want to see Dame, CJ, Covington, and Nurkic, and hopefully they re-sign Melo. Zach Collins come back healthy. Um, Gary Trent come back. They have the pieces. Like they really have the pieces.
Hmm.
It just comes down to health with the Blazers because when I look at the Blazers, they're as good as the Nuggets. We just seen the Nuggets take down the Clippers, so they're as good as the Clippers. Uh, you know, uh, to me, so I think they can make some noise in the West, but it don't give them that big boost that
Mm-hmm.
you know.
I think also when it comes down to the Trailblazers too, really, and I think I touched on it like a few episodes back when the playoffs was happening, is the coaching as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you did.
That he need to make the right adjustments, going into different games and stuff. Because sometimes he just like going there with the same game plan, you know.
Right.
Um, don't even utilize he utilizes Dame too much, and like
Mm-hmm.
And when somebody like locked down on Dame, like LeBron, how he did, it's like he gets froze up and can't think of anybody else. But like you got a CJ, you got a Carmelo, veteran. So like you got players that that can be a floor general, of course. So you gotta be able to mix it up for real. And I think sure that's a big part of Trailblazers' problem too with the coaching.
Okay.
I could definitely get behind that.
Okay.
I'm just tired of this. I'm tired of this ISO ball around the league, man.
Facts, bro.
I just want to get back to the plays of somebody, off ball screens, like basically what the Warriors be doing. Like,
right.
That's the type of basketball I love. I don't want to see nobody dribbling the ball about 30 possessions. Like I'm tired of that.
Could you imagine if the Warriors did that? Like that'd be crazy. Curry will probably average 40. I'm not gonna lie to you.
He could, yeah. Like, the pick and roll, he would.
That's why I like this beautiful basketball like that, bro. It's just too much. People be losing off these ISOs. LeBron can ISO whatever he want, but he rather play like true basketball, which I can commend him for that. It's like everybody want to average 40 a game all the time. Like, bro, just play regular basketball. You gonna win doing that.
It's not my career.
That's actually taking it. That's actually taking it into the next topic. So yesterday I went on live on the Instagram page, and we're talking about the James Harden to the Brooklyn Nets potential rumors, and like how would that potentially work, because he pretty much wants to go to Brooklyn at this point. He doesn't want to be in Houston. Russell Westbrook doesn't want to be in Houston. And I actually said if one of them leaves, they should trade both of them. So it looks like that's going to happen anyway. The bad thing about it is Russell Westbrook, as of right now, only has the Hornets and Knicks as his interest. James Harden only wants to go to Brooklyn. So I'm gonna start with you, Keem. If James Harden was to get, I think we actually spoke about it, but I don't remember what you said. But if James Harden was to get traded to the Brooklyn Nets, how do you think that'll, first off, do you think it'll work? Can they win a championship? And if not, what would be their downfall?
It's a process with it. I want to say, I honestly, said before, like, it ain't going to work. But at the same time, I'm not going to give it up the first year. They're not winning the champion. Like, people thinking they're going to win the finals the first year, they're not going to do that. It's not happening. Second year is going to be the real year to see, all right, did they get their shit together?
Why can't they win year one, though? The Lakers did it.
The Lakers did it?
Us.
They just won year two. They won year two.
They won their first year with LeBron and AD, though.
AD, he's definitely, top 5 player,
KD
in the
is
NBA.
too.
Huh?
KD is too.
No, let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
AD ain't really like, he ball dominant, but he doesn't demand. He ain't demanding the ball like KD, Harden, or Kyrie. AD the type of player. Yeah, definitely not. He gonna play his role and he's gonna listen well, definitely. And of course LeBron, he gonna look for somebody to facilitate to, especially that big man, like the top 5, number 1 big man in the league. So it's like, of course, it's gonna be easier, and they mesh well together, to be honest. But KD, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving is like, they all gonna want the ball. Let's not gonna act like they gonna be chilling. Nah, they all gonna want the ball. They all gonna want 30 plus a game. And of course you got to worry about the other players too, whatever. I don't even think all their numbers going to decrease for real. Like anybody other than James, KD, and Kyrie, it's like you got to coach all that, and it's like, man, who you going? I don't know. It's 3 different egos for real.
That's what everybody keeps saying. Everybody keeps saying 3 different egos.
Yeah, it's 3 different egos, and then you got 3 different people that want to be leaders. That, to me, that aren't leaders for real. Like, one got to be the alpha male, and all of them going to be like, oh, I want to be the alpha male, and I think that's going to kind of mess it up. But at the same time, we got to see, and I wouldn't say that's going to happen the first season. It might take the second season. We never know.
Okay. Mark, talk. Keem, I love everything you just said. Mark, talk to me. What's your thoughts on the trade? If it were to happen, can it work? Will they win a championship? If not, what would be the downfall?
Okay, one, the Houston Rockets already came out and said the only way they trade James Harden to Brooklyn is if they get Kyrie or KD back in return. So I don't think that's going to work. But even if that 3 end up happening in Brooklyn, it's not going to work because, first of all, you have, like I said, 3 different egos. Kyrie is he didn't get no ring. He wasn't leading the Cavaliers until LeBron came back. LeBron led them to that ring. KD, he left Oklahoma City and went to the Warriors. and did his thing. He was not the leader in the Warriors. He was, pretty much the guy who was just like, all right, I take the last couple shots, blah, blah, blah. That was it. James Harden left OKC as well. Went to the Houston Rockets. Tried to lead him, did not lead him. He flopped to the playoffs every time he got to the playoffs. So those three different egos is not going to work. And then you have Steve Nash, who's the coach, who's his first year coaching. Steve Nash is veteran MVP, you know what I'm saying, with the Suns and all that. But as a coach, to coach them three heads is not going to work. It's too much. It's just too much over there. Okay. They might have a couple of games where they go off here and there, but when the seasons break down and it's playoff time and for them to play real team ball, it's not going to work.
Okay, I respect that. Yeah. Y'all saying some hot stuff for me, King and Mark. I like that. So now that makes me more interested in what does Q got to say. Q. So if that trade is to go down, James Harden with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, do you think they win the championship? And if what would be that team downfall if it was to not work?
Okay, so Mark and Keem already touched on the ego thing, so I'm not even gonna say nothing about that. Mm-hmm. That's not a good trade to do. You do not trade your whole core that you built up, spent all these years building up for a player like James Harden that doesn't even feel the weaknesses that y'all already have, and then it destroys y'all depth. The size of those contracts, all of them make close to $40 million a year. Harden makes $40 million a year. KD, I think if Kyrie doesn't make 40, he makes somewhere in the mid 30s to the high 30 million per year. So you have all those contracts to begin with. So your free agency is done. And if you trade your whole core, then you're not going to have no team because the only thing you're going to be able to sign is minimums and probably MLEs or whatever the contracts are called. That's one thing. Now, if you want Harden, you would have to give up Kyrie, in my opinion. And I know the Rockets said that they would only do it for Kyrie, but in my opinion, the Rockets shouldn't do that for Kyrie either. They should want, if Brooklyn wants to give up their depth and some picks, you take that. Because that's a solid team. You've seen that team be competitive, make the playoffs, and all that, and then you got to trade James Harden anyway. Right. So, and you don't want to trade him for Kyrie, who's on a long-term contract. Kyrie by himself is not going to get you a championship. You're not going to get anything that good for Russell Westbrook because I don't think there's any competitors that want his $40 million contract. Right. So, bottom line, those three on the same team, it's a bad idea. Because none of them are defenders. They should have played for Jrue Holiday. That's who they really should have been locked in on because that would have been perfect with Kyrie and KD. You already have a duo with a championship ceiling. There's no reason to trade for somebody that's gonna eliminate y'all depth because it's gonna come and bite you in the ass in the end in the playoffs.
That's a fact.
They're going to be stuck being three superstars with all bums.
Who going to play defense?
Right.
KD the best defender out of them three.
Yeah, definitely.
James Harden, Kyrie is not going to do it because then you got Kyrie who went to the Celtics, ain't do shit in the Celtics. So it's like, who going to lead?
All right, well, before we wrap this episode up, I'm going to say my 2 cents on it. All three of y'all said some good stuff. And I'm sorry I got to be the oddball. If you got a chance to get James Harden, you do that shit. I don't care what y'all gotta say. You gotta think about the way this league is shaping right now. Right. Star players just want to play with star players. That's all they want to do now.
But you already got two.
Hold on. The only people that want to be on their own team right now is the young stars. Why? Because they secured that first big contract and then they leave. It happens all the time. Devin Booker, for example, he just secured his big contract. I'm pretty sure he's gonna leave soon when it's over. If that's damn CP3, y'all, we didn't even touch on that. Oh man, we're gonna get to CP3 too. We got time. Yeah, we got time. So what I'm gonna say is, if you got the chance to get 2 top 5 players in the NBA right now, you do it. James Harden and Kevin Durant, respectively, are both 2 top 5 players in the league. LeBron James and AD are 2 top 5 players in the league. If LeBron and AD could have Kyrie right now, I know they would love that. So if Kyrie and KD can have James Harden right now, there's no reason why they should not love that because I know the defense probably gonna be defensive questionable issues and things like that, but James Harden been improving his defense over the past couple of years. He been being more engaged, with steals, passing lanes, and things like that. Kyrie always been a good player that can get steals as well. Kevin Durant averaged a block or two in Golden State. Rebounds, he can rebound. He can do pretty much everything. You're still gonna have DeAndre Jordan in the middle, who's on contract as well. And I don't know what the roster's gonna look like after everything like that because you still got to go through draft and free agency and all that. So, end of the day, if you got the chance to get James Harden to pair with Kyrie and KD, you do it because we already seen James. Hold on, I see you got something to say, King. We already seen James Harden be a point guard and lead a team and average double-digit assists. We never seen Kyrie do that. So what you do? You put James Harden at the 1, Kyrie at the 2, and KD at the 3 or the 4. James Harden.
That part right there, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I agree with you when you said James Harden being a point. I meant to say that earlier when I was touching on if they were to make the trade, I think it would have to be for Kyrie, and you just have James Harden be the primary ball handler.
Right. Okay, I understand that. If you got to do that, but honestly, I think Houston is going to fold and accept that LeVert and Dinwiddie and all that. But if James Harden playmaking with Kyrie and Kevin Durant while running the pick and roll is going to be unstoppable. So sure. I'm gonna just leave it at that. You go for it. You'll win now situation. LeVert and Dinwiddie. If you got the chance to move LeVert and Dinwiddie to get James Harden, you do it 10 times out of 10. You cannot tell me I'm wrong. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
I say before I wrap it up.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
So, do you think this happened to be a potential OKC instead of having Russ?
And that would be beautiful. OKC, I swear, I promise you, if OKC never broke up, they would have won multiple championships.
Okay, but OKC had a complete team. They were all still on they rookie deals. So
OKC bench
it wouldn't even
suck. Why do you think they didn't win? They had no shooters.
They bench was no. But they still had Perk. They still had Perk, and they had Serge Ibaka, and they had somebody, and then they had Thabo Cephalosha, who was also a good.
That's what I'm saying. They had no shooters. I think they had like Daquan Cook and like
that's not enough.
All I'm gonna say is James Harden was a part of that bench.
Yeah, he was.
The best thing that happened.
Him and Nick Collison was the ones who was leading the bench.
And that was it.
Off the pick and roll.
That was it. OKC sucked, realistically. But that 3 stayed together, they would have won. They would have won.
Yeah, if they stayed together. But they were young around the time.
The reason they couldn't stay together is because of the money situation. If they would have kept those 3 together, it would have eliminated the little bit of depth that they already had. No, they couldn't keep Serge and Harden. That was the reason for the James Harden trade.
Right, but they should have kept James Harden. That's their fault.
Yeah, they should have kept James Harden.
But you know what? I'm not even
James
mad at them.
wanted a bigger contract. James didn't want a small contract.
You can't blame James for that. But I'm not even mad at them for signing Serge before James because honestly,
we didn't know.
After James left, they still could have went to the final in 2013 and 14. But Russell Westbrook got hurt. You know what I'm saying? And then KD bone and then KD foot. So he just had a bad situation happen to him.
Pretty much.
The last trade that we're gonna get into, y'all. I'm sorry, this is gonna be a long episode, but if y'all do get all the way to the end of the episode, we appreciate y'all. Comment and we thank y'all so much. Chris Paul got traded to the Phoenix Suns for Ricky Rubio, Ty Jerome, Jalen, Kelly Oubre, and some first round picks. You know, I'm gonna just say I don't know how many right now, but some first round picks. All freestylers, I don't care who popcorn it. What's your thoughts on that trade? Where does that put the Suns? Are they serious contenders in the West?
I love the trade. I think it makes the Suns a playoff team. Just having Chris Paul and Devin Booker, and they already been kind of molding the way they want their team. They didn't give up all of their young pieces. They still got the core. So now they have a core of CP3, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton. And we've seen DeAndre Ayton look really good. You know, he doesn't get talked about as much because he's in the draft class with Luka and Trey. But DeAndre Ayton he definitely is deserving of, you know, his high pick. He's just in the draft class with people that are like, they seem as like generational talent. So I think it makes them a playoff contender, not a championship contender. Of course, they're not there yet. You know, I like the trade a lot.
Okay, King, talk to me.
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything Q said. It definitely, I think it's a win for both sides.
Yeah.
You know, pairing Kelly Oubre with SGA and everything. That's definitely a nice move, you know, for OKC. And then also, yeah, like Q said with the Suns, you got a little mini big 3 with, you know, CP3, Booker, and Ayton. That's definitely gonna be something to watch. And whatever they can do in the draft coming up to add that extra piece to it, That definitely helped. But other than that, that's a good win for both
That's
teams.
crazy because they do got that top pick still too, right?
Mhm.
Mark, talk
I
to me.
think they gonna play some really good defense too this year.
hmm Talk to me, Mark.
Well, I think, like Keem said, I think it's a win for both teams. The Suns, they're going to get back to the playoffs. They got a leader, Chris Paul. The pick and roll game with him and DeAndre Ayton is going to be good. You got Devin Booker to come on, run off picks or whatever the case may be off ball. That's going to be great for CP3 and Devin Booker. Both of them is just going to jail together. And the Thunder, they win just because Sam Presti, man, I feel like he's just a great GM. Like, he's one of the best. He drafted 3 MVPs. A lot of GMs don't do that. So he had a lot of picks coming up for a few years. So I want to see what he's going to do with that.
Okay, Mark.
I must Kelly Oubre as my man. SGA is going to be beautiful.
Okay. To close it out, I love the trade. For two particular players, actually three. I lied, three. I love it for Booker because he doesn't have to play that shooting guard and point guard role. The past 2 years, he averaged 6 or more assists. I just want him to be able to just focus on scoring the ball now. I love it
Off
for Cam
ball.
Johnson. Cam Johnson, that's going to be a guy a lot of people don't know about, but they're going to know about him this year coming up because he's going to have a lot of opportunity to do what he do best, and that's shoot threes. Playing with Chris
Mm,
Paul, Booker, Aiton, and Bridges. I believe he is going to start. And then last, I love it for SGA because now he can finally show the world what he can do as the point guard of a team. He was that
right.
with the Clippers, but they had Lou Williams and Hurl and
Mm,
Gallinari. They had Gallinari, and then they traded Tobias. All that. Now
yeah.
SGA is the focal point of OKC offense. Kelly Oubre and SGA, I expect both of them to average 20 points per game. And SGA got a
Mhm.
bright future. I mean, OKC got a bright future. My bad.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I gotta say. So I love the trade for both sides. It's great. I love the NBA offseason.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Nah,
also think some people on the Suns roster, people gonna be finding out because once they start winning some games, like you said, who'd you just say? You said
Cam
Cameron
Johnson.
Payne just now.
Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson, yeah, Cameron Johnson. They also have Javon Carter, who's a very good defender,
Right.
very good defender. It's at his height. He's a 6'1". He's a 6'1" guy, but he could put the perimeter on lock. And Mikael Bridges
Yeah.
also been
Mm-hmm.
looking pretty good
He's gonna be a
with
stud.
them. I think, and great thing is there's a stat somewhere. I don't know where, but I seen it. One of their lineups that got Mikael Bridges, it's Mikael Bridges, Devin Booker, and like two of their other players. Like they had one of the highest net ratings in the league, like lineup wise.
Okay.
So
Mm.
that's one thing.
it's all right, man. But now that's another episode of Facts and Stats. This is the part two about basketball, of course. Make sure y'all hit us up on all platforms, comment, leave a like, subscribe, and all that. Facts and Stats in every platform. And we're gonna see y'all next time. We got more content for y'all coming soon. So yeah, y'all take it easy.
We out.
Yeah.